Hey, I'm Deanne Fitzmaurice, a photojournalist. I'm based in San Francisco. I always feel like the project I'm working on is the most exciting and the most important project ever. But if I had to pick one that I really feel like made a difference, it would be a story that I started on. It was supposed to be a one-day story, and it's turned into a 12-year story. This is a story about a little Iraqi boy who came to America for medical treatment. He was seriously injured by a bomb in Iraq. And through this incredible series of circumstances, his dad brought him to America, and a hospital took him in. So I was supposed to go photograph him for one day for the next day's paper for the San Francisco Chronicle. This story just gripped me, and it just grabbed my heart. I met this boy. I walked into the hospital room, and he was just clinging to life. And it was one of the most incredible things I've ever seen. His father was standing there, was completely helpless. His other son had died in the explosion. Here he was in America, couldn't speak the language, and was just trying to do whatever he could to save his son's life. So I photographed him for the next day's paper, and then I just kept going. I had to make them comfortable with me so that they would let me into their lives. So I had to gain their trust. Little by little, when there was an interpreter there, I would use that opportunity to try to explain why I thought it was important. The main reason I thought it was important is because it was the beginning of the Iraq War, and there weren't any stories like this. No one was telling the story about how the war was affecting an Iraqi family. I just started making a connection with them, and I would go to the hospital when something important was happening, like a major surgery. He had 35 surgeries during the time he was at the hospital. And then I would just show up on any day and just see what was going on. And those days turned out to be some of the most meaningful moments in the story, just how he was coping. But it also just showed who he was as a person. I followed that story in the hospital for about 6 weeks, and we thought that he would probably go back to Iraq at that point. But the story changed because he wasn't able to go back to Iraq. Insurgents believed that his dad must be an American spy, and that's why he was getting treatment in America. So they just decided they're going to have to settle in America. Salah was distraught, thinking he was never going to see his mom again, never going to see the siblings. I just started documenting that part of the story of how they were getting used to life in America. The two of them just living together, trying to live their lives. Salah was just trying to make do without hands, without an eye. It was difficult, but I think it was really hard for him emotionally with what was going on. Eventually, Rahim, the dad, got a job at Children's Hospital, the hospital that saved Salah. He then applied for asylum for he and Salah to stay in America, and they were granted that asylum. And then they applied for the mom and the other kids to come over. So I documented that part of their journey from Iraq to America, and then this beautiful reunion. And they were just so happy to all be together. So then I started showing that part of the story of the family being together and just trying to integrate into American society and the culture, a culture that was unknown to them, and just trying to put the pieces together. They had lost a son. Salah was severely injured. They just had this beautiful love for each other, and Salah has this great heart. He's a beautiful person and always cares about everyone else around him. He cares about his siblings and his mother. So I think that's a big part of why he was saved. He has this special thing about him. I am continuing to follow the story as he grows up. And now he's 21. He graduated from high school in America. He's getting prosthetics now for his hands, so I'm documenting that part of the story, and we'll see where it goes. I'll be there until he tells me he's done with me.